Yo, yo, yo. What to do, my peoples? Hope everybody had a great weekend. We got video gaming news coming up for June 3rd, and then it's going to be more Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, I know, dude. Tell me about it, Soup. Tell me about it, bro. You're obviously talking about the Stars losing last night because you're a hockey fan. Who couldn't be, you know? I know. My sentiments exactly. We're going streaky! Yeah! Nice. What up, Psych? Yeah. Man, that was a tough loss last night. Dude, we outplayed the crap out of them just to lose that game. It felt bad. Felt bad. That's the way it goes sometimes, though.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Brother, I hope so. You know, I mean, look, dude, 2 years in a row to the conference finals. To get beat out. That feels bad, dude. It's starting to feel like a curse. Starting to feel like a curse, man. It's unfortunate. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it could be worse, but, you know, it's like... You know, it felt like this was the year. It did. It felt like this was the year. But I mean, if you don't show up, man, you can't expect it to happen. And there were definitely a number of games there in that series where they wanted it more. You know, they outplayed us. We didn't play with enough tenacity. We didn't play with enough speed. Our passing was trash. We weren't playing physical enough. And that's what happens, dude. Yesterday, we should have won that game yesterday. We came to win, and we outshot them. We outplayed them. We were more physical. It just didn't go our way, dude. And that's hockey sometimes. You can't always rely on that. You got to come to play every day, dude. You know what I mean? It feels bad. I'm a little bit hurt. I'm hurting this morning, my peoples. Yeah, I am, dude. I am. It's good to see you guys. Soup. What do you mean it's so over, dude? What's wrong with you? Are you talking about your relationship woes, brother? If you are, so am I. Oh, dog, what's going on now? Alright, I guess before we get into the news, we might as well go ahead and have a therapy session of the morning, you know? It's over! Here we go again. I know, yeah. You know what's funny is, like, it used to be Gabs all the time. It used to be Gabs. Gabs was the one that needed the relationship advice and the relationship therapy and stuff. And now it's Soup. It's turned into Soup. Soup's taken over as, like, you know, needing the therapy sessions on relationship, you know. She wanted you to be a part-time partner thing. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's the best thing. If that's not what you're looking for, and that's not what, you know, if that's not going to work for you, then, yeah, I mean, good for you, dude. Yeah. Then she kept giving back some, well, I think that she's, like, at least, yeah, I think that's exactly what Sykes saying. That's the best thing there, brother. Yeah, I think that it's not that she's not interested at all. It's not like you're getting totally friend-zoned or anything. There's just not a full committal there, which for you I don't think works, right? There's not a full committal there, and for you that doesn't work. And that's going to be hard for you because obviously you're interested in this individual, right? But if there's not full committal to trying out a dedicated relationship here, and this other individual doesn't know exactly what they want, they're kind of more in a space where they just want it to be kind of a semi-fluid kind of thing where it's like, well, you know, it is what it is. Sometimes we can date, sometimes we don't have to date. It sounds more like they're open to having an open relationship, you know, which doesn't sound like that's what you're looking for, you know. Soup's told us before. I don't think Soup minds. Yeah. Soup. Kind of expected it. Had my expectations at the very lowest, wanting it to just work. I get that. Yeah. Well, I know, you try to keep your expectations low, but sometimes when you're excited about the potential of a relationship, it's hard to keep those expectations low. So Randy Foss to just 724 to 72. Yeah, that's I mean, this might just be something that has become like a defense mechanism for you in relationships right now. You're young though, brother. You're young, dude. This, it's like, I know, yeah, it sounds like it's a defense mechanism for you, man, because there's probably been some bad experiences in relationships, right? You don't have to give your exact age or anything. Soup's fairly young, dude. Fairly young. Yeah. Not like teenager young, but yeah. Look, man, but in the grand scheme of things, you're very, very young in the relationship realm, dude. You know what I'm saying? And I think what it is this is just part of you still getting your feelers out there and understanding how to deal with relationships. There's going to be somebody out there, Doug. There's going to be somebody out there that is like a puzzle piece for you. And it's not always going to, be real easy to find, and it's not always going to be real quick to find, but you'll know more through these kinds of experiences when you find people that match up with you better. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so your brain's just defaulting to it will never work out. I get that. I understand that. Being a little bit older than you, though, I can tell you, yeah, that it sucks to have you have that kind of notion that it's like anytime that there's the potential for a relationship, you're only 20 and you've got this mindset where it's like anytime there's a potential relationship for you, you automatically expect it to only last a very limited amount of time. You know what I mean? Just try to keep an open mind about things and don't. I think that's a very cynical way to look at how and I know it's hard because maybe you've had some bad experiences in the past, but it could end up being detrimental to the fact of you finding somebody that does actually match up to you pretty well, and you having this mindset could be a turnoff for them because of the way you approach it. You know what I'm saying? She said she has lost interest in PC because of you. What? Bro, what? What? That's crazy, dog. I have no idea. I mean, I don't know the particulars of the situation or anything, so I don't know how to really respond to that. It sounds kind of funky, but I think the best thing I can say is that I think that you've now found out that where obviously what she's wanting out of a relationship, and it doesn't necessarily match up with what you wanted out of a relationship. And while that might suck, there's somebody else out there, brother. There's a lot more fish in the sea, and you're awesome, and you'll find somebody, dude. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, though. Yeah, I mean, it feels more like, you're kind of being led on a little bit. I don't know. She doesn't sound like she's fully invested in trying to pursue a relationship, at least not to the extent that you are, Healthy gamer OA stream. Yeah, I know, dude. That's what I was saying. I was like, well, we might as well get this therapy session out of the way this morning before we start getting into the news. That age, I would be full of hormones, inexperienced, and I had the tendency of being too forward, coming out too strong. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to get across to him too. So like, yeah, still very young. There's still a lot to learn. Like I said, I think this is an experience for you to just take. But I think if you're going into every potential relationship with this mindset of, oh, it's not gonna last, it's not gonna last, it's not gonna last, that's gonna be to your detriment. You know what I mean? In finding a potential good relationship too. You know, I don't think you can go into every potential relationship just being, you know, real cynical about it and thinking that it's just not gonna last. You know, that's not gonna be well for you either. But I do think that you know, this should be an experience for you of making sure that the communication's there, if there is the potential of a relationship, and being very open about what you want and are looking for out of a relationship. You know, it should be a learning thing for sure. I think any potential relationship is a learning process of how to deal with them moving forward, for sure. It could be what Sykes talking about too. There's a lot of potential there. There's a lot of potential what is actually going on with this individual. Yeah, I've thought about the same thing. It's hard to tell exactly. Yeah. One that stalked you for a year and a half? Jesus. I don't know, man. It's a weird world dealing with relationships. I think that once you find the right one, you'll know it. But it takes experience. You know, these experiences are a culmination of building blocks to knowing when you find the better ones. I think it does take this quite often. There are people out there that find those really good relationships really quick, but I think that quite often a lot of people have to deal with going through, you know, a more tumultuous process of relationship, you know, endeavors, I guess, to have these experiences to really know what you want and how to determine when you're in a good relationship and stuff like that, you know. So I don't know, man. Just be patient, dog. You're young. You got a lot of life ahead of you, brother. You know, be patient and just be real open with what you want out of a relationship. And if the other person that is a potential partner for you isn't on the same page, don't, you know, force it. It's not gonna, you know, there's no reason in trying to force somebody to be what you want them to be, and nobody should be forcing you to be what they want you to be. You know what I mean? That doesn't work. That doesn't work. And to be fair, with what Sykes saying, he's right, and women can be the same exact way. You know? I don't know. Like I said, I mean, it seems like there's some games being played or something almost, dude. I mean, you know what I mean? There are people that like playing games, especially when you're younger. You know, yeah, that's a very, very good piece of advice right there, Psych. Yeah, there are a lot of people when people are younger and they're in this whole relationship vibe of like feeling people out and, you know, for a relationship and approaching people about you know what I mean. It's there are some that just like to play games to an extent. You know what I mean, and see what happens. And you just have to know that. Well, I mean, I think this is the last thing I want to say about it. You keep saying that she keeps hinting that like she has feelings. Have no idea how to go about that. My advice to you would be to move on, dude. My advice to you in this situation is to move on. It doesn't seem like something that's healthy. It doesn't seem like something that's gonna work out, because ultimately what you've told me at the core of what this problem holds relationship-wise is that you're wanting something different than what this other potential partner, this girl wants, right? She doesn't know what she wants. You know what you want. She doesn't know what she wants, but she's kind of stringing you along almost is what it feels like. With trying to go act like she has feelings but doesn't really want to commit and stuff like that. You know what I mean? What up, Ferret? I think the healthier thing for you is to not bite that hook, dude. That's the way it sounds to me. But I'm only taking into context what I'm being served up here in chat. You know what I mean? Personally, it sounds like you should just be like, yo, I think it's better that we're just friends. Move on and look for a potential better relationship somewhere else. It doesn't, this person seems very non-committal. It seems like they're stringing you along a little bit, you know? I think that, you know, to just not deal with the stress of that and what it's presenting to you, I think is the best way to go about it, personally. But the choice is really yours. They're stringing you along, meaning that like they're kind of leading you on, not wanting to commit, not really sure if they want to have a relationship with you, but they don't want you to be gone either. So they're kind of feeding you just enough to keep you kind of on the line there. You know what I'm saying? That's where it doesn't feel healthy. It doesn't feel good to me from what I'm gathering from you, dude. That's what it is. Ferret's on a streak, dude. That's what I'm talking about. What's up, brother?
We're going streaky! Yes!
What's in the shaker? Cake.
Cake.
Yeah, exactly what Syke's saying. Syke and I think are on the exact same page about what's going on here. A brown streak. Yeah. Yes, I think Syke and I are from everything that we've heard from you over the past couple of days, it really feels like I think Syke and I are on the same exact page, dude. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're both feeling the same way, and I think that you're better off just wash your hands of this situation, dude. Let her know that it's cool, you guys can just be friends, but that you're not going to pursue this in a romantic way anymore, you know? Yeah. I think that's the healthiest thing for you, buddy. I do. There'll be somebody else out there for you, man. There'll be somebody else out there for you. You're a cool ass dude. And you're young, man. What about the game we bought? What did you buy? Oh, hey, what game did you guys buy together? I mean, you can still be friends. Yeah, Sykes, right. You've got to be prepared for what would come, you know? This is the game stuff we were talking about yesterday, you know? She's going to try to potentially, whenever you give her that notion that you're not going to be invested in this, you know, as a romantic thing anymore at all, she's potentially going to turn around and go, oh, no. But I want you and I need you. And she's going to try to reel you back in, you know what I mean? So you've got to figure out how to deal with it, man. All we can do is give you advice. Come back, Venti. That's right. But because it sounds like she kind of is playing games with you a little bit, dude. Honestly, from my point of view, from everything that you've told me at least, it sounds like she's playing some games with you a little bit. So you've got to be prepared for that. And it might be better to just not, you know, just stay away if it's harder, you know, too hard to deal with. If it's too hard to deal with even on a friendship level, then it might just be best to stay away, dude. You know? But it's just one of those things. We can only give you that much advice, and you got to figure out how to deal with it, man. Yeah. Exactly what Syke's saying. Yep. It's a game, dude. Like we were talking about yesterday. Ferret, what's up? Pinky, what's up? Soup, Sank, everybody, happy flipping Monday, man. I hope everybody had a great weekend. One second, we'll start gaming news. All right, my bet. You guys ready? I'm ready. Let's go do some video gaming news for today, June 3rd. Soup, I hope we helped, brother. You can always come back and talk to us some more if you know things progress, you need more help or whatever. We'll do our best. I mean, I'm not I can only, you know, we can only provide advice as either to the best of our ability. It's not 100%, but we got some seasoned individuals in here, dude. You know, we know what we're talking about. Let's go. Let's get in here to video gaming news, dude. Let's go. Gabs isn't even in a relationship anymore. So easy, dude. Well, it's not. It's so. Well, you say already. I mean, bro, she was dating that guy for a while. Yeah, it does suck for her. From what I understand, it wasn't their decision. It wasn't their decision. There were parents involved in it, apparently. Yeah. Parents involved and made them quit seeing each other, and that's the impression I got. You know, I wasn't like pressing for information, but she was pretty busted up about it. And she's been kind of fairly sporadic with, you know, being here in the. She's got a lot going on in her life right now, so it's not, you know, I'm not throwing shade. I would never throw shade at anybody for not being able to be around the channel. You know what I mean? I'm here. We are here for people when they can be here. She's got a lot going on in her life right now, and that's part of it too. She really, really liked that guy. Little Man, I think, was the nickname there. And yeah, apparently for some reason parents got involved, didn't want them seeing each other, and shut it all down. Yeah, so feels bad. I feel for her. There's been other stuff going on for her too. So yeah, we love Gabs, dude. Gabs is amazing, and hopefully we'll see her again before too long. But you know, I think you know, probably keep Gabs in our thoughts, and hope that things turn around for Gabs. It's been, I think, a rough past few months for her. What are we talking about here? Said I was too awkward around Gabs. Gabs is a sweetheart, dude. She's so cool. Yeah, Gabs is awesome. Hopefully she'll be around before too long. We'll get to catch up with her a little bit. Let's get into this, dude. Awkward around new people? Nah, you just gotta wear that flippin' venti vibe, dude. You're all good. Yeah. All right, dude, let's go. New Nintendo 3DS remake rumored to be in the works. Let's see what that is. We've also got from Soup. Soup made me aware that the ROG Ally has released their new X, isn't it? The ROG Ally X. This is their new model, so we'll take a look at that today too. Thanks, Soup. Yeah, it was the because there were two different versions of the initial ROG Ally, right? And the lower model apparently was pretty terrible, but the higher model was pretty good from what I had heard. So we'll take a look. Dude, we're jamming this morning. You guys jamming? Everybody have a good weekend? What's this? What is this, man? Nah. This is just their, like, new laptop lineup or something. Nah, I'm good. I'll get into, like, the handheld stuff, but yeah, it's getting. But look, man, I mean, this is the problem. This is the problem. So I draw the line at, like, the handhelds. I'll draw the line at the handhelds. It starts getting too polluted with, like, if I'm gonna look at laptops for a specific corporation or whatever, then I've got to look at laptops for every, all gaming laptops coming out across the industry and stuff. That's the way it feels. So I think the best thing to do is go, people need to have an understanding of what kind of hardware you're into. And then, look at these corporations regarding how good, is the hardware they're putting into their devices, how good is the quality of their craftsmanship, and how good are their warranties. That's what I promote, right? So what I tell people is, if you're going to be going out and buying a pre-built computer, a laptop, a desktop, something like that, it's not just the brand. It's not just the name. You need to know what you're getting. Know what all parts are in there. Know the quality of those parts. Know the reputation that company has, right? For not just build quality, but also how good is their customer support? How well are you going to be taken care of? What's the warranty like on those products that you're purchasing, right? So I kind of draw the line at the handheld stuff, and if people need advice, I'm all about giving a little bit of advice if they're trying to narrow down a purchase or something. But if just diving into all the new stuff coming out all the time in the space of like pre-manufactured computers and stuff, it's just too much. We would never quit doing the news, dude. But I do appreciate it. FOMO, BOMO, Tomo. Now, obviously, if Asus wants to come through and sponsor some streams, dude, and have me promote their new ROG Ally series, then we'll probably talk about it. You know what I mean? But right now, that's not the case. He's a sellout. Get him. I like Asus product. I've got an Asus motherboard in my my PC that I built right here. Get the bread. Well, for me, it's I would also, I only want to be associated with brands that I trust and brands that I use, and I'm not going to be one of those people that promotes products that I don't know anything about, companies that I'm not a fan of. You know what I mean? Things like that. But I like Asus. I've used a lot of Asus products, dude. Bread with morals. There we go. Yeah. What's this one? Really? An 8-inch display? 8 inches, dude. That's pretty average. Interesting. Yeah, we'll look at that too, buddy. Thank you. Yeah, the claw's been out for a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. You got an Asus fridge? Asus has been getting wrecked for scamming customers lately? On what front, Pinky? Really? That's not fine. That's not fine. No. No. That's not fine. I hadn't heard about this. Yeah, on their warranties? Really? Oh, no. Oh, yo, check it out. PC Mag, yeah. What'd you give? Oh, same one, I think. Yeah, okay, I got it. Yeah, thanks. Oh, cool. Yo, thanks for letting me know, dude. Oh, that's sus, dude. Ooh, yeah, let's take a look at that. Yo, I hadn't heard about that at all, guys. Thank you. Interesting. The more you know, baby. That's why we got to educate ourselves, dude. Good stuff. Scald against the Black Priory. Have you guys even heard of this game? We'll take a quick peek at it. Really? No way. Is that the video that's in there right there? I think it is, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's what I thought. Yeah. Yeah. They do good videos. Interesting. They'll probably talk about it a little bit there too. We'll see. Interesting. That's not good, dude. That's not good. Might be a good enough reason to stay away from Asus for a while. The final shape's coming very soon. We know who's jacked about that one, don't we? D4's announcing a 1-year anniversary event. Not that anybody really cares, but we'll pull it up. That a recent vid? It just says the final shape start time and countdown. Here's when you can play. It didn't look like a video or anything. It's just giving countdown timer and stuff. No. Oh. Yeah, yeah, it's in here, dude. It's in this article we have. It's right here. That's what we were just talking about. It's right here. It's embedded in this article. I'll get it to everybody. I mean, if you want to go ahead and watch the video, by all means. I won't be watching the video during the news. It's about half a month. It's like, this came out on, well, I don't know about the video itself. This article came out on May 16th. I don't know about this video embedded, but this article came out on May 16th. But you can take a look right there. I probably won't watch that video right now because of it being content I might have to cut out of the news segment, but we'll read about it. But it's linked right there if you want to take a look at it. Yeah, for sure. Harvest Moon, home sweet home. Let's take a look at this. I might be seeing things. Sony is saying that Astrobot is more than 4 times the size of Astro's Playroom. And no microtransactions. Good news there. Good news. Astrobot looks mad. No, I think it looks pretty good, actually, dude. I think it looks pretty good. I know it's not one of those types of games that appeals to everybody. But honestly, I mean, with how much... And I didn't even play Astro's Playroom, but everybody really enjoyed that. And I think that this one looks pretty good, I think. Everything looks good to you? No. You know better, dude. Suicide Squad. Skull and Bones. Silent Hill 2. Concord. I talk all the time about games that I don't think look good, dude. Don't do that. Felt like playing with bots. Skull and Bones was always going to be a piece of trash. the quadruple A gaming experience, you know? New PS2 games are finally coming to PS4 and PS5. Take a look. Palworld community manager revealing favorite part of the upcoming summer update. Let's go. Palworld! Alive and kicking. Soup, you know. Eat your heart out, Pokemon. It's never gonna die. You're gonna be 80 years old going, I should have listened to OA. Our world will live forever. Oh, brother. That was like some gremlin impression? Nah, I mean, you might end up turning into a gremlin when you're 80. I guess that's maybe more of a representation of you at 80, okay? Epic Games Store potentially giving away a critically acclaimed AAA game in June. We'll see what this is. I'll still be with GTA 7. What are you talking about? Who's he? And mentioned what? GTA 7? Marvel's Midnight Suns will reportedly be completely free soon. What? What is this? Oh, shut up, dude. Lars Wingfors? Or Strauss Zelnick, I mean. Isn't Lars Wingfors the CEO of Flippin' Embracer? My bad. Who cares? This is stupid. I'll give you a better thing. I'll give you something better than this. I'll give you something better than that. Here, take a look at this. There you go. Yo, Pinky. Yo, take a look at that link. Open that link real quick and play the beginning of that video. Let me know what you think, Doug. If you can. Senua's Saga makes you want an Xbox. Everything else about Microsoft doesn't. Just get a PC, dude. Link it again? Wait, what? Did it not? Yeah. Hold on. There you go. Try that out. Well, Pinky made something really dope. Now, I do have something I'll talk to you about where I want to see if you can change it just a tad. I want to see if you can change it just a little bit. But we'll talk about it later. I don't think it'll be hard. So basically, Pinky took the intro of what I was doing for my videos and altered it. Altered the intro for the YouTube videos. And it's dope. It's really cool. And so I just recently, because he updated it, like he created this just on the fly, right before I started taking all my vacation time here over the past like 5 weeks or so. And so I just got back starting to get back on top of a lot of the YouTube stuff. And so I just implemented it in the new videos last night. So I wanted him to see it. So if you guys see that video, Like this whole thing right here. Pinky did this. GTA 6 That's not publisher. The way it used to be. It used to just kind of like fade in and then fade out was the way I had it, but he kind of altered it to do that whole thing. It was really cool. Shout out to Pinky, dude. I'm Batman. Trollface and Dark Knight, dude. Let's go. Random mode time. We've already got the PlayStation stuff up. Nice try, bro. I got baited like that once. Really early after implementing random mode for the channel. I got baited like that once. Somebody got me. Nice try, brother. There you go. That's smart, though. Smart. Ooh, Lethal Company developer reveals release date of the next update. We'll take a peek at that. That's going to be hype for Pinky. Game Pass reveals games leaving in June. We'll take a peek real quick. NVIDIA's new PC gaming app gets nerdy upgrades. PC Game Pass freebie. What? Let's see what this is. We got some news this morning, dude. Oh, look what just came up. Interesting. What soup had already given me. Nice. South Korean lawmaker proposes imposing fines on video game hackers. Awesome. Yeah, let's go, dude. Dude, we should do this across the world. Let's go. For those companies out there that all they do is make hacks for games, fine the crap out of them. Fine them to where they can't be a business, dude. Destroy the crap out of them. You know? There's no way companies, these companies that make hacks and cheats for video games should be able to be a legitimate business. It's asinine. It's so gross. We already know about Call of Duty Black Ops 6. It's October, man. I knew you'd say something. Oh, man. Wuthering Waves announces huge changes to 1.0, 1.1, and more. We'll take a peek at that as well. All right, man, that's going to be our news for today. We got a lot of articles. Let's go. Nice. Oh, Pinky got mod love, dude. Let's go. Perfect, dude. Perfect. Heck yeah, man. Hope you have a better week at work this week, dog. Let's get into it, guys. Get a big old swig of coffee. Here you go, Pinky. Lethal Company developer reveals release date of next update. Lethal Company version 55 is coming later this month. Since developer Zeekers released the version 50 update, and Lethal Company players have been patiently waiting to see what's next. It's been almost 2 months since the hopping update. And today, Zeekers revealed the update 55 is on the way. Of course, they're keeping things relatively mysterious, as most new Lethal Company updates are before they launch. Doesn't seem like a good week so far. Dude, I'm sorry. We did get a few key pieces of new information. Not only was the release date for update 55 announced, but Zeekers revealed that players will be able to pick up the new company cruiser to make getting around much quicker. Here's the announcement. Let's look at this real quick. It'll get better, buddy. It'll get better. Both of you. I have faith.
You want to be a great asset. You want to meet the quota. Do you want to run over your coworker?
Bro, this game is going to be so much fun.
Than the all-new company cruiser. You've got work to do.
June 25th or sooner. All right. The next Lethal Company update is set for June 25th. However, the trailer says that it might come sooner, so you'll want to keep an eye out on the game's official social media channels. Either way, it should be out by the end of the month unless something drastic happens in the background. As far as what's coming with the new update, all we know for now is that players can pick up a company cruiser. We don't know the specifics of how the new car will work, but the trailer did show it moving quickly throughout the world. Should help players move their loot from one place to the next. It's worth noting that this is likely only one aspect of the update, and much more will be revealed when the update is live. Players also noticed characters carrying more gear than usual, potentially hinting at new animations to balance around the car. That said, we'll have to wait and see what all the new update brings to Lethal Company when it launches later this month. While you wait for it to drop, you might want to jump into Fortnite to pick up the new Lethal Company skin. There you go. If you're interested. Cool, man. We're playing Lethal Company in September, so not too far away. That's going to be one of our games we play as a lead up to Scaretober, okay? Game Pass reveals games that'll be leaving this month. What we got? First half of June, following games are all leaving. The Bookwalker, Thief of Tales, Bramble, The Mountain King, High on Life, Rune Factory 4, and Space Lines from the Far Out. Alright, that's what you need to know. These are the games leaving the first half of this month. If you need it, I'll link it. Yeah, the other thing I was going to say was, I don't know. It looks, because I love what you did with it. The frames look a little chunky, but it's not terrible. But it doesn't. It looks a little bit weird. I know what you're saying. The other thing is, it's the way it comes out. I don't know if you can make it to where it stays centered as it comes out and then comes back together centered. You know what I mean? Because what happens is it comes out and it just pulls to the left. So it's like off-centered. You know what I'm saying? And then it comes back into being centered. Instead of it like just coming out and everything staying centered and then coming back to centered. It just pulls out left. So it looks off-center while it pulls out for the whole name and then pulls back into center. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how viable that is, if that's something that could be done. That's what I was going to ask you about. Yeah, so we'll talk about it. If it's something that's not going to take too much time and we could figure that out, that'd be awesome, dude. Because if you notice that, like when it starts up, it just goes like super left and then back to center instead of it like kind of pulling out center back into center. You know what I mean? But it looks great. I love it. I love it. NVIDIA's new PC gaming app gets nerdy upgrades PC Game Pass freebie. If you build it and offer freebies, they will come. Interesting. What is this? Do you have a GeForce graphics card in your PC? Then you'll want to check out the new NVIDIA app, which unifies the long-standing NVIDIA control panel and GeForce Experience mishmash into a more singular interface. We've tried it, and the NVIDIA app is awesome. This is, I'm sure, not sponsored, bringing some much-needed new ideas and cohesion to your gaming experience. And unlike GFE, you don't need to log in to use it, correcting a key enthusiast gripe. The NVIDIA app remains in beta, but NVIDIA wants more people using it, so at Computex 2024, Team Green revealed some nifty new NVIDIA app goodies that might just woo you into making the switch from GeForce Experience, which again, you should totally do anyways. Yeah, this is totally sponsored. First and foremost, if you install the NVIDIA app, you'll be able to claim 3 free months of access to hundreds of games via Microsoft's PC Game Pass. How many of you guys have an NVIDIA card and actually use GeForce Experience? Can you answer that one for me? That's a $30 value. No one. I don't. Anytime I install an NVIDIA update, I never, ever put GeForce Experience on my PC, ever. Never. Like, literally, the only thing I'll install is just the basic drivers and tool set to use. Yeah. So first and foremost, if you install the NVIDIA app, you'll be able to claim 3 free months of access to hundreds of games via Microsoft's PC Game Pass. That's a $30 value and an offer you normally only see attached to new gaming hardware, such as a laptop or graphics card. Yes, you can download and play PC Game Pass locally. No streaming needed. Though, NVIDIA says you can stream over 130 PC Game Pass titles on GeForce Now these days too, complete with up to 240 frames per second speeds, 4K resolution, real-time ray tracing, and DLSS 3. The offer kicks in starting June 4th at 6 a.m. Pacific time and is also available to existing GeForce Experience users. You'll find it in the redeem section of the NVIDIA app or GFE. You'll need to have an NVIDIA account to claim the 3 free months of PC Game Pass and can't already be a Game Pass subscriber. There's your caveats. But the awesome freebie isn't only the only benefit. NVIDIA announced that it's also bringing over the one-click performance tuning option. From GeForce Experience, joining existing hardware monitoring options. You'll find the option in a new performance tab in the also new system section. Quote, power users may also adjust voltage, power, temperature, and fan speed targets, which will change the parameters used by our advanced tuning algorithms, NVIDIA says. They're useful, for instance, if you wish to maximize performance without going above a certain temperature threshold or want fans to spin at 70% max. I'll just give everybody a recommendation here. Afterburner is a great piece of free software that can do all this and more as well. I love Afterburner. A lot of people use Afterburner already. A lot of people already know about it. But MSI Afterburner software is very, very, very good for all graphics cards. All graphics cards can use it. It's a great tool and utility for monitoring as well as adjusting, any kind of volting, any kind of clocking requirements. As well as you have Rivia tuner that goes with it, so you can put overlays on to monitor things. It's very, very good, and it's free. Additionally, owners of RTX 40 series graphics cards can now capture video using the AV1 encoding format. Quote, utilizing the 8th generation NVIDIA encoders or on GeForce RTX 40 series graphics cards and laptop GPUs, AV1 improves encoding efficiency by 40%, producing higher quality videos without requiring more disk space. Yeah. This feels very promoted from PC World here, but, you know, it is a way that people can potentially get yourselves about 3 free months of Game Pass if you're interested, alright? So I'll link it to you. Here we go, here we go. A little bit of some Withering Waves announcement here, which I know Pinky will be interested in. I know that Soup will be interested in. And my son will be interested in. Withering Waves announces huge changes to 1.0, 1.1, and more. We on the fast track now, peoples. Well, we know why Soup likes it. All right. Following the middle, though, I was looking more towards the right, the one behind chat. That's my spicy right there. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Soup plays. Middle's better? Nah. Nah. Following numerous feedbacks from its first week of launch, Withering Waves has recently announced that there would be some important and major changes to the game. From 1.0 changes to 1.1, schedule updates, and more. Dear Rovers, since the official launch of Withering Waves, we have received a lot of valuable feedback and suggestions through social media and in-game surveys. We are genuinely grateful for your attention and support. We apologize for the deficiencies and issues present in. In a recent post, Kuro Games stated what I just read. In total, they tackled 6 parts of the game that they would be changing, so we will be going through each of them in turn. Echo development experience. Players have commented that Echo leveling feels too grindy, with level materials only reliably available in tacit fields. Additionally, players mentioned that the game lacks a wave plate storage system, something similar to the condensed resin from Genshin or the overflow system from Honkai Star Rail. To address this, Kuro Games announced the following remedies. Withering Waves 1.0 will have a limited time Echo material double yield event called Cord Cleansing. Withering Waves 1.1 will see an adjustment to the progression system, reducing the shell credit cost for Echo development. Version 1.1 will also see the removal of the reward cutscenes of the tacit field. Starting version 1.1, Echoes and Echo development material will yield more. The material yield will be increased. A wave play storage system will arrive in a future update. Additionally, players noticed and reported to the developers that recycling developed Echoes was not giving the correct amount of shell credits. Those who received additional shell credits thanks to this will have the bugged shell credits removed from their account. To compensate, players will receive 1 million shell credits, as well as the maximum amount of shell credits yielded from the bug rounded up to the nearest whole number. This compensation will arrive on June 10th. Players will also receive 20 times Crystal Solvents, which will arrive at 7 p.m. I don't know what time zone that is, on June 2nd. So you should already have it. Withering Waves 5-star weapon description error. Verdant Summit, the current 5-star weapon banner, contained a mistranslation. To compensate for this, players will receive a one-time compensation of 5 times Foraging Tides for all the rovers, which will arrive at the same time listed above, 7 p.m. on June 2nd. Additionally, Kuro Games promised players that they were working on improving the localization and translation of the game. Withering Waves 1.0 version events. Players have extensive feedback about the ongoing Overdash Club event, from its duration to its rewards. To address the concerns, the developers promised that they would redesign the rules and reward scheme of the upcoming events. Additionally, they announced that there will be a new limited time special event titled Withering Exploration. The event will start on June 14th at 10 a.m. server time and will end on June 27th at 3:59 a.m. server time. The event will give players the following rewards: 800 Astrites, a morphable Elite Class Echo 1 and 2, Premium Tuner, and Premium Sealed Tube. 1.1 launch schedule. Yinlin banner would be arriving a whole week earlier, launching instead on June 5th at 7 p.m. PDT. This will include the companion story Solitary Path for Resonator Yinlin, the featured Resonator Convene event When the Thunder Pours for Yinlin, and more. This means that I probably butchered that, Jian's banner will be cut short. This change in schedule will also speed up the arrival of Withering Waves version 1.1 with version 1.0 ending on June 27th at 2:59 p.m. PDT. The version 1.1 Thaw of Eons will include a new area, Mount Firmament, a new boss, Jui, and 2 new resonators, Jinsai and Changli. To compensate for the change in schedule, players will receive a total of 10 times Radiant Tide to be distributed on 7 p.m. June 2nd. Combat and control experience optimization. Changes were made to various combat features in the game following feedback of poor experience. Players experienced problems with the auto-aiming, auto-lock on features, as well as camera performance in battle. To combat this, the combat camera correction feature on PC is now disabled by default. Additionally, the default values and ranges for combat camera settings has been optimized. Next, the aggro ranges for certain bosses like the Thundering Memphis, Crownless Lampilumen Myriad, and the Impermanence hero have been optimized while also adjusting the prerequisites for enemies to leave combat. This should lower the instances of bosses suddenly exiting combat. They also mentioned that a disengagement warning feature will arrive in an upcoming update, which should warn players if they are about to exit combat with a boss. Ghost touches are another problem players have sent feedback about. To combat this, Kuro Games has expanded the anti-ghost touch area around buttons, with more optimizations coming in future versions. Players will also have earlier access to custom key binding once version 1.1 arrives. Players will unlock custom key binding in Union Level 2. Controllers will also receive optimizations in 1.1, which will remap the shortcut for open chat to open map, as well as add an option to invert the Y-axis. Additionally, future versions will support controller mode on mobile devices. Future versions of the game will also have improved event signification, as well as game field design for characters and monsters, hopefully enhancing the overall combat experience and positive feedback during battles. Weekly purchase limits were added to certain store items like flour to prevent accidental purchases. Other than that, additional fixes and optimizations were made to the game's audio and sound effects. To summarize, players will receive the following items as compensation for everything the devs feel like has been neglected or a deficit for the game's release. 1 million shell credits, 20-time crystal solvents, 5-time foraging tides, and 10-time radiant tides. All right. All of this compensation should now be available to claim in the game, and that's all for the major announcements. All right. But that was a lot going on here. It looks like the developers are really committed, dude, to try and listen to the feedback from the community and providing everything they can to make this a great experience. So, if you need anything out of that article, it's right there in chat, okay? What are you guys talking about? Pinky doesn't eat breakfast, he drinks mead fists. Oh, that's weird, Pinky. Interesting. All right, moving on. Zenless win. When is the Zenless release? I can't remember anymore. Well, tell me, isn't it like July? Is it July? Or is it this month? July 4th. There you go. Yeah, thanks, Soup. I thought it was July. Couldn't remember the date, though. You will not celebrate your 4th of July. It will be Weeb's month. Honestly, dude, you know, it's not that I don't celebrate the 4th of July, but I'm not a big fan of fire. We've talked about this before. I'm not a big fan of fireworks, so I try to stay away from a lot of the celebratory stuff. It kind of weirds me out a little bit. So a lot of the explosions and stuff from fireworks I don't like too much. So yeah, I'll probably just be playing Zenless, dog. No worries. All we know about Harvest Moon Home Sweet Home, including its release date and gameplay. Let's just get to the core here. Release date. This is a mobile game coming to iOS and Android in August, okay? Where's the let's see what this is. Is this the trailer? There's got to be a trailer for it. Pull it up. Jesus. How do they not, like, embed this stuff, dude? Paid or free? Probably free. But we'll see. I'll look at it. Oh, come on, man. They don't have a trailer out for this. Weird. Why do cozy games suck? Ah, it's funny, dude. Alright, hold on. No! Here's the problem. I saw a couple of videos, Soup, but they're not from the developer. There's a couple of videos there, but they're not from the developer. They're from individual content creators, and I can't watch that stuff. Not during the news segment. Oh, why do cozy games suck? Yeah, okay, hold on, dude. Well, I mean, you can YouTube it. Just get on YouTube and search for it, dude. Hold on. Jesus Christ. Where's it at? No, I don't see it, dude. It's gone, it's gone. I know. There, no, here it is. Why do cozy games suck? Here. There you go. There you go. There's your why do cozy games suck, dude. So, they don't have a legit, like, trailer for it. So, it looks like, I mean, if you've ever played anything like Harvest Moon or Stardew Valley, I mean, that's what you're in for here, right? It does look like this is a mobile game. Significantly upgraded crafting system. Exclusively releasing on mobile devices. It doesn't say whether it's free or paid, man. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Not sure. But this is what it looks like. That's not always true, dude. That's not always true. You know why you don't like cozy games? Because they usually have dialogue and you can't read. New PS2 games are finally coming to PS5 and PS4. Sony has finally listened to PlayStation fans. Sony has announced that it will finally be bringing more games from the PlayStation 2 library forward to make them accessible on PS5 and 4. Back in 2022, Sony overhauled its PS Plus subscription service in a big way. In doing so, it introduced a new tier called PS Plus Premium, which features classic games from older PlayStation platforms. As of this month, Sony will be bringing its first wave of PS2 games to PlayStation Plus. Blah, blah, blah. Set to go live on June 11th, this initial lineup of PS2 titles will feature Star Wars The Clone Wars, Sly Cooper, and the Thievius Raccoonus. Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus, and Tomb Raider Legend. All three of these games will be available to download and play at no cost for those who have a PS Plus Premium membership. Assumedly, this trio of PS2 titles should be able to be purchased on their own via the PS Store as well. Each is also likely to contain new graphical features and trophies in their jump to modern platforms. There you go. To be expected is that we'll have more PS2 games hitting PlayStation and the premium PS Plus service moving forward. But we'll just have to keep track, all right? There you go. The more you know. Now, what Soup's been waiting for. You guys ready? Soup's favorite game, everybody. Pal World Community Manager reveals favorite part of upcoming summer update. Pal World's upcoming summer updates include a few ridiculously cute pals. Oh yeah, I forgot, dude. It's not. Pal World's your second favorite. Your first favorite is Suicide Squad. My bad, dude. Over the last few weeks, the developers at Pocket Pair have been teasing its fans about the massive update coming to Pal World this summer. We know that the team plans to reveal the update in full at Summer Game Fest next week. That's actually this week. This was probably written yesterday. But that hasn't stopped the team from giving fans a few extra hints to keep the hype as high as possible. What up, Ferret? Recently, one of the team's community managers posted a new clip to Twitter showing off one of the cutest parts of the upcoming update. While not as exciting as some of the other features, it's sure to be a hit with Pal World fans all over. Cute new pals. A new tease was posted by Pocket Pair community manager Bucky on their Twitter page. There, they highlighted their favorite part of the update is a little thing, but the teaser shows the player character hanging out with the new frog pals we've seen teased in previous updates. However, in this clip, we see the frogs lounging in a pond. Bucky claims the frogs are sleeping, though some players have noticed that they look like they might have been knocked out or worse. Either way, seeing the little frogs rolling around like beach balls is undeniably one of the cuter things we've seen in Pal World. That's not all that's coming in the massive summer update. We already know that at least 4 new pals are coming, including the frog. Also, the possibility that we're getting a few new variations of old pals that hasn't been completely confirmed by Pocket Pair. The devs also claimed it's revealing a few long-awaited features at the reveal this week, but unfortunately that won't include the promised PvP arena. We know that feature is slated to launch this year, it just won't be ready for the summer update. Instead, players should expect to see this later this year, most likely in the fall. Summer Game Fest kicks off on June 7th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We will be watching it here together. That's this Friday, right? The conference is scheduled to run for 2 hours, and Summer Games Fest is partnering with more than 55 companies that have all paid off Jeff Keighley to just become a puppet. Nice. Expect a ton of announcements in addition to the Pal World update. For example, companies like 2K Games, Sega, and Capcom will be at the show. Several of them are sure to have a major announcements already for fans. Let's look at this Twitter post here. That's not it. There we go. Let's see this. Oh my god, they're totally knocked out, dude. They're totally knocked out. Look at their eyeballs. Anybody that's played Pal World knows what's going on here, dude. This is awesome. I'm gonna have a frog city. It's gonna be insanely cool. I love that they're wearing like little geese, you know. How good is this? That's awesome. I'm so sad. That's great, dude. Nice, nice, nice. Oh, man, I can't wait to play Pal World in full. Sad because the frogs are dead, yo. Let's keep pushing, keep pushing. The Epic Game Store would give away a critically acclaimed AAA game in June. So right now, if you're not aware, we got Chivalry 2, which is free for the next 3 days and 2 hours. They're not telling us what's next, but this is, in my opinion, a game that people should be reaching out and grabbing a hold of for free if you're interested, okay? The next mystery game is what they're talking about in this article, though. So, a very reliable source claims that users will be able to get this game for free. Steam remains the undisputed leader of the PC market, but Epic Game Store has already proven to be a strong competitor. In recent years, it gained ground thanks to special discounts, exclusive releases, and above all, gifts for players. This time, it seems it will surprise the community with a very interesting free title. It is the mega sale right now on Epic as well. Shut your mouth. God dang it. The Epic Game Store used the sale period to give away 4 AAA video games to all users without restrictions. Already know what the 4th and final title of this promotion will be, and we suspect that superhero fans will be very happy. So this is what we already had up, the Midnight Suns.
Hey, shut your pie hole, buddy.
Thanks, Sight. The first mystery game given away on the Epic Game Store was Dragon's Age Inquisition, the excellent fantasy RPG by BioWare. This followed with Farming Simulator 22, right? And right now, like I said, Chivalry 2. But what we're hearing, not only on this site, but the next one we had up too, was that Marvel's Midnight Suns is going to be the next free game. So this is Fire Axis, right? Oh, no way, Pinky. Nice, dude. Nice. Nice. This game is actually supposed to be very good. It didn't do great retail-wise. It was a weird situation. Like this game, Guardian of the Galaxy, those games came out roughly the same time, and both are supposed to be very good. They just didn't retail very well. I think it's just a matter of the market being too saturated with Marvel or superhero stuff, you know? There's a lot of superhero stuff in the entertainment industry all the way around and in the gaming industry. And this game in particular, if you don't know about it, it's Fire Axis game, which is, you know, they're the developers of like XCOM. And so this game takes an XCOM vibe, an XCOM gameplay style, and mashes it up with obviously Marvel's characters and a game card, like a trading card game element as well. So that's how you get new cards. That's how you draw cards randomly to determine what kind of moves you're going to be able to do in the field when you're taking on these battles and everything. It got really good reviews for the gameplay and everything. It just didn't retail very well, weirdly enough. So, but it looks like there's some insider knowledge coming out saying that this will be the next game, like I said when I pulled up just a second ago, in the next 3 days and 2 hours to hit as the upcoming free game on Epic. Okay, so we'll keep our eyes peeled for it. They do talk about what the game is here, which I already kind of gave you a synopsis of, and I don't know. Interesting, man. Interesting. Yep, that's what they're talking about right here as well. So I'll just get rid of this article because we covered it. But same, multiple outlets are reporting the same thing, that this has been leaked, and it's probably usually whenever information gets leaked about what's to come on Epic for the free game stuff, they're usually pretty good at being on point with that. It's not always, but it's usually pretty good. So I would assume, again, grain of salt, it's not official, but more than likely it will be that game. It will be Marvel's Midnight Suns. Diablo 4 announces 1-year anniversary event. D4's first anniversary event brings big rewards this month. D4 launched last summer to rave reviews. You know, this is one of those those great examples. I think this is one of those great examples. Of the disparity between a big, massive juggernaut company in the industry and how they can buy off reviews. We see it happen a lot. See it happen a lot. I just, you know, it's not that I think, like, this is obviously under what Diablo 4 is probably going to be experience-wise, right? I think that's a given. I think you're probably going to be more around what you see on Steam, right? Like, look at what Steam is. All-time reviews for Steam is 70%. I think this game is, from everybody I've talked to that has played this game, and look, everybody's experience is going to be varied, but it's hard to argue with a baseline from a huge data point like this, right? A massive data point like over 17,000 reviews, it's a pretty good idea that this is going to be a roughly 7 out of 10 experience, which isn't terrible. It's just not mind-blowing either, you know? So, there's going to be a little bit of, in any review process, you're going to have some bloat and you're going to have some bombs in there, right? That people do on purpose. But it honestly usually cancels each other out. And with a data set this large of over 17,000 reviews, it looks like this is probably a pretty good idea of what you're going to experience. Something pretty mediocre, you know what I mean? You know, you'll get enough enjoyment out of it if you like these kinds of games, like action RPG, hack and slash games and stuff. But I don't think it's going to be anything that blows you away, really. You know, but it is kind of weird whenever you see, like, obviously this is odd, a 2.3 from users of 9,500 reviews. That's weird. That, I think there's definitely a lot of review bombing going on there, right? There's also something weird about like an 86 from critics. Whenever I really don't think this game is close to being that high. I think there's probably a lot of review sites that got either paid off or were trying to get in the good graces of Blizzard by putting out reviews like that. You see it quite often. You see it quite often where there are certain companies that'll push out games that the consensus from players is that the game is not nearly as good as it gets rated by a lot of outlets. And it's unfortunate. I think this is one of those situations, to be fair with you. I don't think this game is an 86. I just don't. I haven't played it, so I can't tell you from experience. But from everybody I've talked to and the reviews we've seen and stuff like that, the like legit reviews that aren't just like bombing it and stuff, it doesn't seem like it's an 86 experience, dude. I'm sorry. I've never seen it, dude. Never seen it. But it's it's weird to me that it's like rave reviews. Yeah. Come on, man. In the months that followed, the developers at Blizzard have launched 4 seasons full of new content for players to dive into, though the results have not always been up to expectations. Big surprise with Blizzard, let me tell you what. With Diablo 4's first anniversary coming up soon, the team has announced a top part event set to kick off later this month. And Diablo Immortal fans will also be able to get in on the fun as oh no. grab your phones. Grab your phones. Diablo Immortal fans will also be able to get in on the fun as the developers are celebrating the mobile game's 2nd anniversary alongside the D4 event. You know it, dude. D4 first anniversary details. I was actually, what's funny, I've got a good friend of mine back home that plays D4. I was literally talking about D4 with he was playing, I was on the phone with him yesterday and he was playing it, you know. He likes the game, but it's, you know, it's not. My impression even from him is as somebody who plays the game still is that it's not of like an 86. It's more like a mid-70s game or something. You know what I mean? He's just always played Diablo games like I always did, but he stuck with it, whereas I got fed up with Blizzard, right? Talking about this, I can't help but talk about the fact that like I'm way more interested and hyped up for like Path of Exile 2. I cannot wait for Path of Exile 2, man. I know Ferret's looking forward to it. We're gonna play it together. Anybody else that wants to play Path of Exile 2, we're gonna play that here in the community, man. We're gonna have some fun with that. Blizzard's first anniversary event called the March of the Goblins. From June 6th to the 13th, players will notice an influx of treasure goblins in Diablo 4. That, of course, means players will have the chance to jump in and farm a ton of loot, especially in dungeons where rumors claim players will be running into packs of treasure goblins. Additionally, players can head into the shop and claim several free gifts, including 2 new mount cosmetics and several weapon skins. Might be sick on the release of Path of Exile 2. Or yeah, I'll back you up on that one. I'll call in your workplace. I'll let them know. I got you, dude. On top of the cosmetics and treasure goblins, players will be also enjoy another round of the Mother's Blessing. If you haven't participated in previous events, this boon gives players a boost in both experience and gold rates, making it an excellent time to level up seasonal characters. Remember, these boosts are multiplicative, which means you can bump those boosts up even further to start flying through levels. Nice. That's nice. The Diablo Immortal version of the March of the Goblins also kicks off on June 6th and runs through June 20th. This is the 2nd anniversary of the mobile game, and players can earn a ton of rewards throughout the event. Players will also be able to take on challenges like the Trial of Plunder and the Gold-Cursed Goliath boss fight. Of course, those tough fights will also pay out with big rewards if you're able to take them down. It's definitely worth logging in and testing your mettle. D4 is now available on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC platforms, and available on mobile devices. It is also available on Game Pass now. There you go. All right. Well, hopefully that gives the people that enjoy D4 something to look forward to, you know? Hopefully Blizzard does good by him. Scald against the Black Priory. Haven't we seen this? We've seen this, right? Against the Black Priory official launch trailer. I'm pretty sure we've seen it. Let's take a look at this real quick. Found games that have enemies leveling with you kind of diminish the effectiveness of XP boosters. You mean like... I guess it depends on the way it's implemented. But I mean... Doesn't. Well, I mean, in a game like that where you're always trying to push towards like max level or whatever, you know what I mean? You're still going to be leveling faster with an XP boost. So you're progressing faster than you would have without it. And that's a lot of the point in those games, right? Is to push through faster. You know, you're always trying to level up and get stronger and things like that, right? So, but I mean, you need the enemies to be also. I mean, otherwise, if the enemies aren't growing with you, if you're not getting into areas where monsters are the same level or whatever, then you're also just mashing everything. I mean, I've seen games that don't implement it well on that front, but at the same time, a base experience gain from killing a monster, if you got an XP boost, you're still going to be leveling faster than you would have without it. But it does depend. We're used to seeing enemies stronger in the higher level zones versus just leveling up with you. Well, I think the best way to implement it is kind of what you're talking about. I mean, my preferred way to see a developer implement that kind of stuff is what you're talking about. You can go into zones where you can fight things that are above you level-wise, but I think it depends on the genre. It depends on what you're doing. In a game like Diablo, right? I think it's more what you see more often than not is, you know, you've got the progression through the different areas of the game where you can go fight things of a higher level, or you can go back and fight things that are just, you'll just squash, because it depends on the area that you've been through and where you're trying to go and what you're trying to do. Path of Exile, Diablo, stuff like that. Or you talk about a game like The Witcher 3 where it's, you know, you can actually turn on enemy scaling to where everything stays on the same level as you if it's not above your level. It just depends, I think, you know. It depends on the genre, it depends on the play style, it depends on, you know, but it can be done very well, it can be done very poorly also, I think, you know. So, like The Witcher 3, I would have absolutely hated that playthrough if it wouldn't have been for, like, enemy scaling, right? Enemy scaling was so good because it kept enemies on the same level as me if I was in an area where they would have been underpowered or I would have been overleveled or whatever. So it made the entire game feel nice and competitive, right? And I feel different depending on the game I'm playing and the genre I'm playing. Like for me, The Witcher 3 would have felt terrible. It would have felt terrible without enemy scaling. Roach for the win. But in a game like Diablo 3 or a game like Path of Exile or whatever, I don't expect enemy scaling. Because it's all about the progression through the different acts and areas of the game. And if you go back, you know what I mean, you expect to be over-leveled. And unless you're playing like an in-game scenario or something, you know what I mean, then, you know, it's... There are different situations for some of the in-game stuff that, you know, won't necessarily be like that, but I haven't played Diablo in so long that, like, so Diablo 3 I played on release, but that was it, right? But like Diablo 2, yeah, so it's like Diablo 2, you go back to like, and now it was all about like increasing the if you went from normal to nightmare, after you beat normal, then nightmare, you know, playing Act 1 was going to be difficult again. Yeah, but it was about that kind of sentiment. Yeah, so it's all different. I don't know that I agree with that entirely, dude. I just don't know that I agree with that. Well, I mean, maybe less effective. Again, I think it depends on how it's implemented. It depends on, from a developer standpoint, how leveling up and experience gain is implemented in the first place, right? So you could be right, and it just depends. I think it just depends. Depends on the game, depends on the developer, depends on how leveling up is. You know, it's like most games, if you're way over leveled over an enemy, you're not going to get hardly any experience off of them anyways. as opposed to killing an enemy that's closer to your level, or even to a greater extent an enemy that's above your level, right? But any kind of boost is more experience than you would have gotten in the first place, right? So I think it just depends. And maybe it's just your experience in certain types of games and stuff too. I don't know. Let's watch this real quick.
Legacies of old, about to be awakened.
Interesting. Okay. Now available on PC, Skull Against the Black Priory, set in a grim, dark fantasy world of... Dude, shut up! Tragic heroes, violent death, and Lovecraftian horror. Explore the thrilling expanse of Freymark and the Outer Isles to uncover the grand schemes of the Gallian Empire. If it looked cool, go check it out. Skull Against the Black Priory official. It is out now on PC. New Nintendo 3DS remake rumored to be in the works. What game from the 3DS could be coming back? A new remake of a game that appeared on the 3DS said to be in development at Nintendo. What are we talking about here? Based on new information from PH Brazil, it is said that a remaster of an undisclosed game from the 3DS library is in the works for Nintendo Switch 2. Although the game in question wasn't revealed, the insider, who has been credible in the past when it comes to Nintendo, says that the project shouldn't launch till after March of 2025. Looked like Loop Hero? Yeah, a little bit, dude. Yeah, a little bit. You know, Loop Hero's on mobile now? Isn't that wild? Additionally, it was stressed that this title won't be shown off at Nintendo's next Direct, which is set to transpire in June. Given the sheer number of games that appeared on the 3DS, it's hard to pinpoint which title those at Nintendo might be looking to give a facelift for the new platforms. Some of the most popular first-party games on 3DS happened to include A Link Between Worlds, Kid Icarus Uprising, Kirby Planet Robobot, Fire Emblem Awakening, and Super Mario 3D Land, just to name a few. As a result, any of these games or numerous others could be a candidate to head to the Switch 2 in the future. Yeah. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD is a revamp of the 3DS title. Dark Moon set to launch on the Switch on June 27th. We'll have to see what comes from this 3DS news. Not a whole lot to take away there, but we'll have to keep our eyes and ears open for it. Here we go. This is from our buddy Soup, letting us know that the ROG Ally has a new model out, the ROG Ally X, right? You can see it right here. So last year's ROG Ally versus the ROG Ally X from this year. Yeah. You can see the difference in these. Both are Windows 11. Both have Z1 Ryzen processors. Both have the same screen. This had 16 gigs of LPDDR5 RAM. This ROG Ally, the new one, says up to 12 gigs, but I think that's times 2. So we're talking about like 24 gigs of LPDDR5 X on board. I think that's what this is saying. Up to. Last year's model had 512 gigs of NVMe solid state storage. This has up to 1 terabyte this year's model. And I think the graphics are actually the same. What was this? 12 CUs and up to 2.7 gigahertz. Let me see this. Same graphics as well. Looks like the same graphics also. So it's not a huge upgrade. Really, mostly it's memory and storage, it seems like. We might have to break it down to like what all is the battery's an 80 watt per hour. What was last year's? That's a pretty big. I think last year's was only like a 50 or a 40. Brother, Jesus Christ. Not bad. $40. They doubled the battery. They doubled the battery. Nice. Wait, 608. Hold on. $678. So you can see a lot of this weight, extra weight. It's like 70 more grams of weight, which isn't a huge difference, but this thing does weigh a pound and a half now, and a big part of that's going to be the doubling the size of the battery. That's significant though. That's a big battery for a handheld. It's very, very nice. Interesting. Here was the thing with last year's model. Take a look. Oh, are they talking about right there? Yeah. Ally. Oh, so they're talking about some of the stuff here. Up to 24 gigs of, yeah, it was 12 times 2, so up to 24 gigs of RAM. Up to 1 terabyte of storage, like I talked about. Same screen, but this is the big thing. Double the battery, dude. Yep. So it's a little bit of an upgrade, but honestly, this was the thing about the last year's model. There were two different models for last year. Why are they not showing both of them? That's weird. Because they're just showing up to or whatever. So there was like a top tier model and then a model right below it for the ROG Ally. And apparently the lower end model was pretty not good. But the top tier model was supposed to be pretty solid. So basically what you're taking away here is instead of 16 gigs of RAM, you can get 8 more gigs of RAM. You're going to have a double the battery life, and you can get double the storage in the new ROG Ally. That's the biggest takeaway, it looks like here. All right. We'll go ahead and put that right there on that one. There we go. Now, speaking of Asus, thank you for letting me know this, Pinky and Soup. I was not aware, but they've apparently been having some issues recently with their warranty service. Asus apologizes for heavily criticized warranty and return service. Asus acknowledges? I think I just made a new word up. Asus acknowledges gaps in its repair service after buyers report exorbitant prices and unnecessary fixes. Not everyone is convinced the apology is genuine. Yeah, as suspected. Asus this week apologized for terrible user experiences with its product warranty and return service, but it may not be enough to restore its reputation. The company issued the apology days after hardware review outlet Gamers Nexus posted a video titled "Asus Scammed Us," which alleges that the vendor tricked consumers into paying for product repairs that should be covered under the PC maker's warranty policies. In Gamer Nexus's case, The reviewers returned an Asus ROG Ally handheld that we were just talking about to repair its thumbstick. Asus then sent them a message saying the repair would be out of warranty since the broken part resulted from customer-induced damage. Now, this is probably a great video. I'm not going to watch it because it's not, it's content that would prevent me from just uploading our news segment without editing it heavily and re-uploading and stuff like that. So, but I will link it so you guys can watch this video. I'm sure it's very good. Gamers Nexus has great videos. In addition, Asus said it wanted to repair a small dent in the handheld for $191, even though it wasn't part of the repair request. If Gamers Nexus refused to pay, Asus's message implied that it might send the ROG Ally back, but in a disassembled state. Last week, another consumer on Reddit also highlighted, excuse me, a negative experience with Asus. My throat, man. After asking the company to fix a dent in their new RTX 4090 graphics card, Asus allegedly sent the buyer a quote for $3,728 in Canadian, more than the $2,799 purchase price. In response to the complaints, Asus issued a statement acknowledging gaps in our RMA communication process in the US and Canada. Quote, "We deeply apologize to our customers and the community for any confusion and frustration they might have experienced from this. We have taken your feedback to heart and are committed to making improvements," it said. Asus is taking several actions to improve its customer repair experience, effective May 16th, including reviewing any abnormal pricing to ensure consistency. Quote, "We want to ensure our customers that any repairs covered under the manufacturer's limited warranty have always been and will continue to be free of charge," the company added. "It is never the intent of Asus to charge any customers a fee that does not directly address the device malfunctions they are experiencing." However, the statement is still angering some users, in part because Asus faced similar backlash a year ago for initially refusing to cover product warranties with the company's motherboards. The other issue is that Asus's Wednesday statement seemed to attribute the problems to communication errors when consumers allege that the PC maker has deliberately looked for ways to void product warranties. So they'll still extort customers, just do it with a softer language, wrote one Reddit user. Yeah. Maybe it might be worth staying away from Asus for a while, guys. This doesn't look good, for reals. Wait, what? Speak American, brother. Obviously not, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. How's it, Ferret? Interesting. I didn't know that. This is good, man. It's good to know this. What I promote to people all the time is to be hyper aware if you're going to invest in anything significant, that especially in the tech side of products. Know what you're getting into for build quality, customer support, warranties, things like that, because it plays a big part in why you're paying what you're paying for those products. And I've used many Asus products in the past, and I've been happy with the quality of the products. I haven't ever had to use their customer support or warranties, so I don't have any experience with that side of things. And now that I'm hearing about this, I'll be very sure to stay away from Asus moving forward until I am quite sure that they've changed their ways. Hopefully, anyways. And lastly, another thing from Soup here. MSI Claw 8 AI Plus leaked, said to come with Lunar Lake SoC and 8-inch display and larger battery. Image of an MSI Claw 7-inch in Pip-Boy livery has also been unearthed. Oh, man, I'm sorry, I got the yawns today, guys. Details of a next-gen MSI Claw handheld gaming console just leaked, featuring an Intel Core Ultra 200 Lunar Lake chip, a larger screen, and improved battery capacity. Hardware leaker at Momomo US posted the details on X, adding that the device will also get a Thunderbolt 4 Type-C port, improved bumper buttons, and a lighter AC adapter. Aside from these upgrades and changes, the leaks also suggest that MSI collaborated with Bethesda to create a Fallout-themed version of the MSI Claw. This collab model will feature a 7-inch fully high-def screen. Unsure if this will just be a skin on the current MSI Claw A1M or if it will be a more affordable version of the Claw 8 AI Plus. Sure hope that this version of the Claw might come with all the Fallout games pre-installed. Check that out. While we don't have a launch or announcement date yet for the next gen Claw, Intel's Lunar Lake CPUs are expected to come out in quarter 3 of this year, so the Claw 8 AI Plus will likely be available in time for the holidays. However, the improvements on the next gen Claw will likely give the Asus ROG Ally X that we just talked about a run for its money, especially as it still relies on the AMD Ryzen 1 Extreme and has a smaller screen. We also want to see how the addition of AI processing will impact gaming performance. Intel's Lunar Lake is expected to have more than 100 TOPS in AI performance, with 45 TOPS coming just from its NPU. This is over 10 times better than the current Meteor Lake CPUs in the Claw A1M, and we want to see how this additional performance could improve gameplay, if at all. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. Keep building stairs in Valheim? Is that what you guys are doing right now? Attempt high pressure tactics, short time frames to respond, setting things like you might receive the product back. Yeah, that's what they just stated in the article. Fair, it was the disassembly thing. If you don't pay us to, you know, fix the dent or whatever, you could potentially receive your product back disassembled. It was like, what? Yeah. Yeah, the high pressure tactics stuff is disgusting, dude. Like how utterly disgusting. That's why I think that people need to be hyper aware of what's going on here. I didn't know that Asus had been this bad dealing with this kind of stuff, and you know, when you expect a company this prominent in the industry of tech, when you're paying more for that kind of name and those kinds of products, what I promote quite often, you're paying for not just the build quality and the expectation that you're getting a quality product. You're also paying for the peace of mind of, you know, good customer service and good warranty and things like that. And, you know, if Asus is failing on that front, then people need to steer clear for sure. Good news segment, guys. Quite heavy this morning on the news, but that's good. The past couple of days have been a little bit bleak, as Sundays and Mondays, you know, like Saturday, Sunday, Monday can tend to be that way, but popping off this morning with some nice articles to cover, man. So I appreciate it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of organizations around the world, depending on where you live, that you can report to and notify about these particular kinds of situations. And look, I mean, I think one of the other things that's important is if you come across these companies that are doing this kind of thing, social media is a great thing for it. Make people aware. Tag those companies. Tag the organizations that are supposed to be taking care of you in regards to holding these companies accountable, like FTC and things like that. You know what I mean? Social media, while, you know, I'm not a great, you know, I don't like social media for a lot of reasons. There are reasons why social media can be very, very helpful in certain occasions. And it's for calling out these companies and raising awareness about the things they're doing. Social media can be very good on that front, you know. Oh yeah, I had absolutely no idea. So I appreciate you guys making me aware. Yeah, I won't be diving into anything Asus for quite some time. I can tell you that. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. Great news. We're going to go play games. We're going to go play Ghost of Tsushima for the rest of the day. Thank thanks for being here. Thanks for being a part of it. Anybody that's not aware of what we do, or this is the jam, man. 6 days a week. We go live at roughly 6 a.m. CST CDT. We always begin with video gaming news. We're not done for the day right now. We're about to play games. That's what we do, man. We try to stay current on what's happening in the industry of video games, because that's what we love. And being current and promoting a healthier industry for ourselves as the consumers of these products, and trying to promote taking care of the better businesses and raising awareness of the not so good companies in this industry is what we're all about here. So after that, we play games for the rest of the day. We got awesome community, spreading good vibes, just trying to promote always having a welcoming environment here where people take care of one another and have great friendships and enjoy the world of video games, man. Having a good time playing games and play a lot of games together and just spreading the good vibes, man. Being void of negativity, toxicity, stuff like that. And if you can dig it, man, it's we're always looking for more people to come build this community in the right kind of way, and so come be a part of it, man. That's what I would say. Other than that, I hope everybody had a great weekend, and I hope you're having a great start to your week. And we're going to go play some Ghost of Tsushima. I think it's day 8 now. It's going to be a great day. I'm going to run us an outro real quick, sum up this news segment. As soon as I get back, it's time to game. I'll see you in 1 second.